Hi everybody, welcome to South Olympic Branch update number 24. I just got some RR-cirkits LCC stuff in the mail today for controlling the turnouts, and I want to start to get the west end of the yard set up for that. The first thing I did was go and make a bunch of labels that I'm going to slap up on some of the Tortoises up there so that when I'm programming it, I have a guide to go by there. Labels installed, and they kind of hang off the Tortoises a little bit, but that's okay for now. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the plan. First of all, I have this Tower LCC right here by RR-cirkits, and that it'll be connected to the SMD8. This is a stall motor driver. And what this does is this provides the interface for LCC to talk to the tortoise motor, sort of. It's part of the way there. The LCC goes through a 10-pin ribbon cable, just that interface right there. Right. And into the SMD8 on one of these two ports right here. Then another ribbon cable goes out. Actually, it goes in on this port, or this port, I should say. Then another ribbon cable goes out of there, and it's going to connect to a thing called a BOBS, which stands for breakout board. And the breakout board, which is this little doodad right here, takes that 10-pin cable and separates it out to 10 screw terminals. Now, you could solder right to Tortoises from this, or from the stall motor driver board, but I really hate dealing with wire that's that small. Dealing with the ribbon cable type connection makes it way easier. Anyway, then something I haven't tried yet is this breakout board that just came from RR-cirkits as well. This is a new thing. And what this does is this has a bunch of header rows on it, and it allows me to plug in a touch toggle directly to it. I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to do this yet. So one of the 10-pin headers will go from here to the tower, and another one of the 10-pin headers will go out from the tower to the stall motor driver, or SMD8, and it's stall motor driver 8 because it can control 8 Tortoises. And then when we tap on the touch toggle, it will tell the tower to send a signal to change the orientation of the turnout. That's the plan. We'll see how this works. I've done turnout control with the SMD8 and a Tower LCC before, but this will be the first time I've used the breakout board with the touch toggles from Barrett Hill. One thing I forgot to mention is that the Tower LCC puts out like a 5 milliamps per line, and doesn't have enough power to drive Tortoises. So one of the things the SMD does is provides a little power port here where you can add 12 volts, and then that allows it to have enough power to drive the Tortoises. Time to make up some ribbon cable. This is 10-pin ribbon cable, and this is the connector, one of the connectors, and you just slide this in, and well, I'll show you. So you'll notice that there's a little bump on this side, and they call that the key. And the reason why that's important is that it helps you orient the cable when you're putting it together. So first thing I do is I've got to get the wires lined up the way I want it. So this doesn't really matter, except for you got to be consistent. And I actually have some gray cable that has no color to it whatsoever. I just chose the rainbow stuff this time because it looked like it would be easier to manage when you're trying to figure out what's where. So basically you just put this through the end a little bit, grab my robo grips, and push together. You can hear a little click right there. And then I'm going to take the other piece here and I'm going to go around like that on the top, right? And then this piece comes in over that and clicks into place, and that provides a nice strain relief for that. Now I just got to repeat the same on the other end and make sure that no matter what color I have on one side, I want to make sure it's just oriented the same way. So, so in here I have black on the right, and I'm going to put black on the right with the key facing up, assuming I can get this thing apart enough to do that. Come on. Now the cable really won't fit in here the wrong way, won't fit like side to side off. And that's one of the lovely things about these connectors. I like to leave a little bit sticking out so that we know we got a good wire connection there, and clamp that down. That's nice and tight. And then once again, flip it over the top and clip that wire into place. There we go. Nice. Now we got ourselves a neat little ribbon cable. Now the ribbon cable will then connect, as I said, to the header here, and it's going to go there like that, and then the other end of this will go into the tower.
Okay, so I've created a couple of cables here. I've got this one plugged into the SMD, and I've got the other one plugged into the tower. And the one for the tower goes to the breakout board that we talked about earlier, which is right there, the new breakout board. And then the other one from the SMD goes to the BOBS. So then I'll be connecting some wires from that to the to Tortoises. When using the BOBS with the SMD8, the two middle screw terminals are left unused. That's because we have 4 Tortoises that are being controlled on lines 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, so nothing happened when I went over to the computer. And I thought, well, it's been a couple of years since I've done this kind of configuration. Maybe I've forgotten what I'm supposed to do. I bounced this off of my friend Brian Pickering, and he said that my configuration description dialog looked different, and that I probably have the new firmware for the board. Okay, there's that. But that didn't explain why I wasn't getting where I needed to be. So after talking to him, it occurred to me, hey, I've connected this thing to line 16, and I don't have a tortoise connected to line 16. Duh. So I went over and I connected a tortoise to line 16, but that didn't seem to have power. I thought that was odd. Well, it turned out after I chased that down that the 12-volt connection for the SMD8 got loose while I was moving things around, not just on the end connected to the board, but the end connected to the distribution block. Anyway, so finally got all that figured out, and now I've got it working. Woo woo. Or should I say, woot woot. Okay, so toggle in view, tower in view, tortoise kind of in that area over there in view. And if I tap the touch toggle, we get a blinking light and a moving tortoise. Let's show that again so that you can actually see what happens at the tower. This is a screenshot of the traffic monitor. You'll see two highlighted events there. I'm going to use those in the configuration window. Those were generated when I tapped on the touch toggle. Okay, here's a screenshot of the configuration information window, or CDI. And this is for line 16, which would show up at the top of the screen if we could have it that far over, but we can't for cropping reasons, for making it look good in the video. And so the things we need to change is the output function, which I believe starts out with like no function, and I have to change that to steady active high or steady active low, and then the input function has to be set to disabled. So now we're looking at the first event section. In the first event section, there are events 1 through 6. We're only concerned with event 1 and 2 at this time because we're changing the state or position of a turnout. Under that, you'll see command, and when this event occurs, there's a hexadecimal number. That number is what's generated when we tap on the toggle that's assigned for event number 2 in this case. Over to the right of that, you'll see a button that says write. That sends that information to the Tower LCC to be saved there. So when the power's off, it knows it when it comes back on. The tower doesn't have to be connected to a computer for this, or after this, because it keeps that information. Below that is action. And action is kind of the output. When it receives this event, it changes or toggles the output. Events 1 and 2 tend to be configured so that one of them is closing the turnout and the other one is throwing it. I'm going to tap this button that I've labeled for this turnout, and later on I'm actually going to make a panel so that you can actually, a person coming up can kind of see what the heck is going on there. For now, I'm going to tap this touch toggle and watch that turnout in the background there. You'll notice that it moved if you're able to, watch close enough. There it is. So I'm going to call that good for this episode. In future episodes, we'll get to the point where I'm adding automation so that you can tap one touch toggle and it will throw all the turnouts needed to get you out of that track on the yard and out onto the main. For now, take care and have fun with those trains. See you next time.